What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 194, and today we start the episode off by officially ending the previous season. Obviously, in the last episode we won Euro 2020 with England after we beat Italy in the final, and as you can see, as these emails and these little interactions are happening right now, as you can see, we hadn't actually finished playing the Euros. Now, I mentioned back in episode 191, I think it might have been, that with Arsenal and with, well, the way I do things on Career Mode on YouTube is that if we ever reach an international tournament with a nation, we will postpone all club business until that tournament is over. So basically, over the past 3 episodes, you haven't seen any Arsenal business, and it's not because I've deleted all the footage and you won't see anything. They've just been held back until the tournament is over. So now we're officially going to start the new season with Arsenal, even though as things are going on right now, as you'll see in these emails, we're actually still in the Euros. Now we're going to start the season with Arsenal. You'll see all the emails that you would have missed over the past couple of episodes as I held them back for you from you, and now you can officially start the season with us. So yeah, we're starting the season with Arsenal here. As you can see, the board want us to win the league title, they want us to win the FA Cup or Capital One Cup, and they also want us to reach the semi-finals of the Champions League. And they've given us a budget of, well, the budget isn't that good. It's £32.5 million, and you might sit there and say, £32.5 million, that's a very decent budget. Well, the problem is, you know, with those ambitions of winning the league, winning a cup, and also reaching the semi-finals of the Champions League, I just don't know whether we can do that with our current squad of players, because quite frankly, we're not a bad squad, as I mentioned before, but the problem is some of the players I don't really get on with, and I don't predict us, you know, doing all the business in one summer transfer window. I think it's going to take us a while before we really do get to grips with this Arsenal team, really. Because despite finishing in 4th place last season, it certainly wasn't as convincing as it could have been when we arrived in January. And also, you know, we got knocked out of the Europa League in a round of 32 by Hoffenheim, and we got knocked out of the FA Cup in the semi-finals by Liverpool. So, you know, I don't really feel like £32.5 million is going to be as much as it possibly could be for us to sign as many players as we really need to do if we want to meet those objectives the board have set for us for the first season. So what I decided to do was ask you guys on Twitter whether you would like to see a financial takeover or not. Now, I've done 2 financial takeovers before on YouTube. Once when I was managing Atletico Madrid in my, you know, original big career mode back in FIFA 13, and also last year with Hertha Berlin, and neither time anyone really had an issue with it, to be honest. And as you can see, I threw it out to you guys on Twitter, would you like to see a financial takeover? And 67% of you said yes, you would like to see a financial takeover, and 33% said no. So we did decide to get a financial takeover from the catalogue. Now, before you all start complaining and saying, oh my god, that's the series ruin, then first and foremost, done it twice before and no one ever really had an issue with it. Secondly, I threw it out to you guys and let you guys make the decision, so you can't really say fairer than that. And to make it even fairer, what I decided to do was, well, basically the last 2 times I brought a financial takeover, I got the financial takeover for one reason and one reason only. That was to re-sign a cult hero to our club, to a new club I should say. And we're going to do the same thing again, because Niang, currently sitting at PSG, we've raised the guy from when we signed him from for West Bromwich Albion from Milan to, you know, being a winger who does have a future, but wasn't really getting used too much, to being a world-class player. And, you know, if you're a new subscriber, then you won't get this, and I don't expect you to. But if you're an old subscriber, you certainly will get this, and you'll understand exactly why I'm doing it. Whenever we identify a cult hero in a series, we always try and make sure they remain with us for as long as possible. So you may sit there and say, oh my god, signing former players, buying a financial takeover, what is this all about? Well, what this is all about is the way I've worked on YouTube over the past couple of years. You know, this is how I do things. So if it's not something you like to see, then, you know, I apologize basically, but this is how I work things. And if you're an old subscriber, you know, a long-term subscriber, you'll get it. You know, you certainly will get this. So Niang is going to be our number 1 target, and basically what we're going to do with the money is sign Niang, and my understanding is you get about £50 million from the takeover. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sign Niang for £40 million. You can see after this transfer gets sent, PSG do accept the bid. So Niang's going to come in for £40 million, and with I think it's about £7 to $8 million left of the rest of the money, I'm going to buy a 5-star experience and 5-star judgment youth scout when one becomes available. So basically, we'll be using the financial takeover to sign 1 player, and also, you know, have £2 million or about that left over, and then buy a youth scout. I mean, that's just, you know, you can't really say fairer than that. You know, at least I certainly can't see how I could have played played this any better, to be honest. So there you go. Regardless, some transfer offers have been coming in for some fringe players whilst I've been chatting about random stuff there. And as you can see, a bid came in for Yaya Sanogo from Sassuolo. He looks like he's on his way to Italy. And I'm okay with that because Niang is almost certainly going to come in as we offer him a contract. Sanogo, 77 overall rated striker, isn't that bad as a backup striker, but to be honest, at 27 years old, we want a younger Arsenal team, and 27 years old, it's not old at all, but, we don't really need Sanogo, and, it's a bit of a waste of wages keeping him here. I think he's on like 60 grand a week, which is pretty ridiculous for like a 6th choice striker. So, yeah, we want a younger team, we want lower wages, so let's just get him out of the club, and he can go to Sassuolo. Still, we took on PSG for a pre-season friendly, and we lost it by 2-1, but quite frankly, we're not really fast as pre-season friendlies, don't really mean too much to me. And also Cazorla has decided that this is going to be his last season in professional football, which in a way is a bit of a shame because I was actually hoping to sell him on and get him off the wage bill, but at least we know we've only got him for one more season maximum, so he's going to retire at the end of the year. We also see that Sanogo has gone to Sassuolo for £6 million, which I'm okay with, and also Niang is going to come in for £40 million. And again, I want to reiterate, if you're a new subscriber, this is the first career mode of mine you've watched, then you probably won't understand that this is how I work on YouTube, but this is just how I do things in career mode. This is what I like to do. This is what my long-term subscribers seem to like me doing. Buying those cult heroes and keeping them with us for the entire series. So Niang is going to come back, and to be honest, Niang is the type of player we need at this Arsenal team because, quite frankly, there were enough games last season when we came into Arsenal where I was looking for a spark. I was looking for someone to turn the game on its head. We don't really. Well, we got a couple of players here at Arsenal that are capable of doing that. Players like Alexis Sanchez, but Niang on so many occasions, for West Brom and PSG, turned the game on its head when we needed someone to do something, someone to step up to the plate. So Niang coming in is going to add that added dimension to the team, which, okay, maybe we don't exactly need him because our offensive lineup of Arsenal is pretty decent, but he's the type of player I'm going to turn to when the game's on the line and we need something desperately. So I'm pleased that Niang's coming back, and again, I want to reiterate for the final time, if you're not a fan of me re-signing former players like that, then I apologise, but this is just how I work on YouTube, so if you don't like it, then I'm sorry, but there's not much else I can do really other than just explain why I do things. Still, we also saw as well that Odu Bajo, a transfer target of mine, currently playing for DC United. DC United accepted a bid of £7 million for the guy, so we put in a bid of £7 million, and we'll wait and see whether we can get him. Now, there's no scout report on the guy, but as I'm England manager, I can check the overalls of these players. He's a 77 rated overall striker at 21 years old, so I'd love to get him. Also, Tom Turgot, he's also a 77 rated overall player, so they're both 77 overall. Wouldn't mind getting either of those players as a backup striker and for the future as well, so we're pleased with that. But also Daniel Atta. Now, I've seen this guy in the comments a couple of times over the past few episodes asking if I could sign this guy when the new season of Arsenal starts, as of course he is Zlatan's regen. So I did say at PSG we couldn't sign him because obviously he literally just joined the game at the start of last season, so he was unavailable to move from St Etienne to PSG. But now a year has passed, we can sign him if we'd like to, and he might cost us a little bit of money. He's 73 overall at 18 years old. He's clearly got the potential to be special, as it said there, so it might cost us a bit of money, but he would be a fantastic signing for us if we could pull it off. But still, DC United wanted £7.5 million for Odu Bajo, which I found quite surprising because they're okay accepting £7 million from Hoffenheim, but not £7 million from us. They wanted an extra 500 grand, which is kind of annoying, but I just said, do you know what, that's a bit of a joke, to be honest. But I'll tell you what we'll do, we'll give you £7 million plus Akpom, because Akpom doesn't really have much of a future here. 24 years old, 69 overall. I know a lot of Arsenal fans think he's a very decent prospect in real life, and he probably is, to be honest, although I haven't seen much of him play. But we don't really use him, and we won't really use him, especially if one of those players comes in obviously Atta, Odu Bajo or Turgot. So we just said, you know what, we'll just swap a striker and we'll wait and see whether they say yes to that deal or not. But also as well, St Etienne rejected a bid for Atta, which is not a real surprise. They want £12.8 million plus a Phobia, I think it was the player I offered them for Atta plus the money, which is a bit of a shame because I really would like to sign Zlatan's regen, and you guys seem to want me to sign him as well. He would be a really good young striker for the future. Even though he wouldn't get too much game time, we could possibly loan him out or just playing him in those Capital One Cup games, but we'll have to wait and see. And we also put in a new bid for Tom Turgott as well at Leyton Orient, and I'm pretty confident that at least one of these three strikers will come in. I'd like to sign at least two, preferably all three, but I'm pretty sure one of these three strikers will come in, so we'll just have to wait and see. Still following that, a transfer offer for John Terrell came in. He's on his way to Cardiff, which I'm okay with because he doesn't get in the team and he's just a bit of a waste of the wages, to be honest. And also the last thing you'll see as well is that a player got sold, that was Terrell, and also DC United accepted a bid for Odubajo, so we go ahead and offer him a contract and we'll wait and see what he says. But that is going to be the episode, so as always guys, a big thank you for watching the video. I really do hope you have enjoyed it. If you enjoyed the episode, then please do leave a like, as it is much appreciated, and of course it really does help my channel out. Hopefully you understood the reason as to why we got the financial takeover. Really appreciate it. Thank you for voting in the poll, and I'll see you for the next episode of Career Mode very soon.